Hello, you're listening to Real Laughs Wednesday night. I'm Mike Hurley, joined in studio with Mr. James John. As always, James, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm feeling pretty damn good because we have a guest on tonight that I absolutely love. She's one of the funniest people I know and always has a good spirit about her. So it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, I'm glad we got her. She's a big name. She's not always available.
She is.
Little nothing shows. Also joining us, the godfather of Orlando comedy, Mr. Ken Miller. Ken, how you doing?
Man, I'm struggling, bro. This day 3 of my detox, B. I ain't had no alcohol or nothing. I'm struggling, fam.
Day three of your detox?
Yeah, man.
I literally saw you last night drinking at the Improv.
Oh, we're not doing that whole reality that we're recording this Wednesday? No
Yeah,
more?
yeah. Well, I guess we're not.
Okay, well then it's day 1. Never mind. I thought we were doing the fake reality that this is Wednesday.
Lies. You're just filled with it, man. You're just breaking the illusion. And the guest we were talking about, I'm super excited to have her in studio with us. Ladies and gentlemen, probably one of the funniest comedians I know in Orlando. You know, we talk about comics who leave the Orlando scene and go elsewhere, and you always feel good for them, like going to New York or LA. But when this comedian left, it really left a hole in the scene here. And I'm going to sound a little bit selfish here. When I found out she had to move back due to like COVID-related reasons, part of me was like, "Oh, that's too bad." But the inside of me was like, "Yes, it all worked out perfectly."
Dude, I 100% agree, bro.
So, ladies and gentlemen, joining us tonight at the Real Laughs virtual studio, we have Miss Samantha Ivey. Samantha,
hey. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome back.
I took a long flight to be here.
I agree with Mike, though. I do agree with Mike, and I know we're trying to make sure that we keep this as comedian and not saying that you're a lady comic. We want to make sure that you're a comedian. But real talk, anytime there's a show and I get a call from the GM at the Improv and they need a lady, she's like, "Where's Samantha Ivey at?" Like, New York. I'm like, she in New York. I mean, unless you're gonna fly down here and put her up.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to
absolutely.
You're gonna have to tell James to put a dress on and go do the show. Like,
I do it.
I don't know how many times a booker has called me for a comic, and I'll be like, "Oh, you definitely got to get Samantha Ivey in there." They're like, "Oh, is she funny for a girl?" I'm like, "No, she's funny for a comedian." You know, I'm like, she was my go-to, dude. You guys know I do the Geeks of Comedy roasts every year at MegaCon. We do the roast of Santa Claus. All those roasts we do. She would, no matter what character you want me to be, what character you need me to be, and she'd just hop on and she'd kill it. So just to catch people up, Samantha, not all of the people listening know you as the legend that we know you to be. So basically, you decided back in, what was it, 2018 or 19, when you decided, hey, me and my girl are going to make the move up to New York. I'm going to try to make it. What year? When did you go up there?
2019. It was back in July.
Okay, so July 2019. You make that trip to New York. And what we usually tell people when they're trying to go out to New York and LA, it's usually someone who's only been doing comedy for like a month or two on the scene.
Right.
And they're like, "I'm going to go make it." When you were going, we were like, "No, you're definitely ready to go. We just don't want you to." You know, it was like that. So, but then there's always people who get up there. Like, we have so many comics from the Orlando scene who have gone, and even when they were ready, they made the attempt, but couldn't find a stride up there and ended up coming back to, Florida and the Orlando scene. I think it was within a week I saw you performing and having nights at like A-room clubs, not these pay-to-play things. Like, you were on the roster at these rooms. What did you do when you got up there? What was the first thing you did when you got up there? Did you just go, "Okay, I came here for comedy and that's what I'm doing"? Or how did you go about making the leap from Orlando to New York?
Well, first thing first was when we went up there, we didn't have a place to stay. So we got a place, and then I was like, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to figure out my bill situation first, because I know a lot of people struggle money-wise when they hit up there because they're so focused on jumping into the comedy scene. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a month off. You know what? I'm not even going to think about comedy. I'm going to think about just making it in New York. And I got a super amazing job as a breakfast server. And once I got that going, then I started hitting open mics. And then somebody told me about a comedy competition. It was a Broadway comedy club. You could do this competition thing to become a club comic to earn a residency there. And I did that. That went well. Another guy, my first open mic, I went to, this guy pulls me aside and was like, "Hey, I run a showcase here, and I want to put you on the next showcase." And I was like, "This is my first open mic in New York. this isn't supposed to happen. No.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Talk to somebody else. I'm supposed to struggle for like 6, 7, 8 months, bro. You're doing this wrong. But I got thrown on a couple showcases, and then my secret weapon was for sure Rachel. She started sending out email after email after email, and that's how I got onto Gotham and Comic Strip Live. And I didn't even know where I was going half the time. She was like, all right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I gotta say, your girlfriend, she is probably the most. I could not pay money for a better manager than what she does for you. That girl is doggone. I mean, just between the flyers and the promotion, everything else. I think, are there days where she's working on your comedy career more than you're working on your comedy career?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, she's working on it right now while you're over here lollygagging on the radio.
She actually just texted me. How much is she getting paid for this thing? I actually just got that.
We got technical difficulties.
No. I wrote back. She's getting exactly the same as the rest of us.
Nice.
Good.
So you mentioned getting up there and getting a residency for Orlando comedians who are just used to like walking in, getting on a list, or getting on standby for next week. What could you explain to them what the difference is between like open micing in Orlando and what it takes to get stage time in New York?
Well, in New York, first off, you have to pay, which I mean, it definitely weeds out people that aren't serious about it, but you're still going up against 20, 30 comics. I mean, there would be open mics that would last 3-4 hours. And I remember my first open mic I went to, I stayed the whole time, and they were like, why are you still here? I was like, you have to stay. And they're like, no. Every comic, they do their stage time and then they book it out.
Are they booking out because they're trying to get somewhere else, or are they just like
the next mic? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And a lot of them hop to the same ones. I honestly, like, I wish that I had done more mics than I did, but because I was a breakfast server, I was getting up at 4 a.m. So I'd hit like one mic after and then go home, because any shows that I was booked were like at 10, 11 o'clock at night because I was still new. So I would go to work, come home, sleep for a couple hours, go back out, do a show, come back, take a nap, and then go back to work. Like, it was it got crazy sometimes. Yeah.
So what's it mean up there when you get like passed for residency? Is that all of a sudden you're welcome to perform whenever you're available and you don't have to pay, or what goes on with that?
So the residency I didn't have to pay. So that one was, so you do an open mic and then you might get on a show, but it'll be a bringer show. So I did a lot of those where you have to bring 5 or 6 people. When I did Comic Strip Live, I didn't have enough people show up. I only had 3 and I had to bring 6. And he was like, all right, the difference in ticket price is $36. So I had to pay $36. I had to go out to an ATM and get $36.
Damn.
I could get,
See,
so I could get up on the stage.
Now, Ken and James, could you imagine? Could you imagine? You guys have both ran rooms and ran open mics before. Could you imagine someone showing up at your room and you saying, first of all, you need to pay to get on the stage tonight, even if there's only other comics in the audience? Yeah. And with a straight face, tell them, hey, no, it's $5 to get on. Yeah. But could you also imagine some of these comics that you tell, hey, I can't get you on tonight, I'll get you on next week? And the ones that have a problem with that, compared to in New York, where it's like, we don't have to do anything. We don't. If you don't get up this week, it means nothing. Next week's a whole nother week.
Yeah. In fact, you owe me $36 now, bruh. If you want to get on this stage. Let's talk about that.
I would say this. When I first started, if you wanted to do the improv over mic downtown, it was $25.
Really?
But, it was $25, or you brought 10 people. But at the end of the night, the best comic of the night won $100 and usually got the host that weekend. You know what I'm saying? So, but we always used to lose to Uncle Ray. So
when I was starting out in West Palm Beach at the Improv, they gave you like 20 tickets to give away. You had to give away at least 20 tickets, because that would get people in and they had to buy 2 drinks or whatever. And that's how they made their money on open mic nights. You could hustle outside the Improv trying to get people in the door. But if you didn't get your 20 people, then the host didn't have to put you up. Sometimes if they were feeling generous, they might go, look, you're not getting your full 5. I'll give you 2 tonight because you only got 7 people in here. But for the most part, you could hustle and get 16 people in that door. And when the show starts, if you don't have 20, the host could be like, sorry, man, better luck next time. And then the whole thing about becoming a host for the open mics at the Improv was the only thing you got paid was the fact that you didn't have to hustle to bring people in anymore. Your pay was you get to host, you get stage time. And so I get the frustration when younger comics are starting out going, hey, man, I can't. When do I start getting paid? It's like, dude, believe it or not, a ton of your work in comedy is, but it was a full audience. I did a guest spot. How come I'm not rich? Wait till you're headlining full audiences and still not rich.
Amen.
So,
amen.
Sam, everything was going fine. You were rocking. You were getting some momentum going. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little jealous from time to time, going like, "Damn, I'm gonna be hitting Sam up for guest spots when I make it to New York." And I'm like, I hope she remembers who I am. But so everything was going great, and then what happened?
Just COVID hit, man, and everything started shutting down. And I'll never forget, a week before everything got shut down, I was at work, and for like the first hour, nobody would come in, so I was just scrolling through the iPad at work. It doesn't matter, I'm furloughed anyway, and and I saw that Italy had shut down, and I was like, bro, like, what if they actually quarantine us? And this guy that worked there, he had been born and raised in New York, and he was like, you don't shut down New York. That doesn't happen. Yeah. Don't worry about it. A week later, here we are packing up sangria to take home because, well, we're not going to sell it the next day. So, so we're stuck in this like 600 square foot apartment in the Bronx.
Wait, you didn't take no food? You just took alcohol? Like, hey, I'm gonna take this sangria, yo. We got fruit in it, so.
Yeah, it's mad romantic.
The New Yorkers took home food. The Floridian was like, well, give me the alcohol. All right.
Yeah.
So So how did that go down? Like, were they understanding of you breaking your lease and everything to escape New York, basically?
So I'm not the best of daughters. Okay, I never claimed to be. Okay, so we thought when we left New York, we were gonna leave for like a month, maybe, and things would clear up and we'd come back up. So we left in March. Our lease isn't up till July. I asked my mom. I asked her, do you want to go with us? And she said she would like the alone time. And she got it.
So your mom's still up in New York?
No, she did. We flew our brother up to New York in July, and he helped her pack and bring all her stuff down into a storage unit. And it sat there for like a month.
Wow.
So we've been without our stuff up until a couple of weeks ago, since March. I was living at my sister's.
You know, you could have called me. I could have loaned you some bras. You know I got extra. Ken, you know I got them, right? Come on, man.
Yeah, he got them. Yo. They all pink, though. They're all pink, though.
So what's it been like since you got back now? Have you got any stage time? Are you getting up?
Honestly, coming from like the epicenter of COVID, like it was kind of scary up there. So Rachel and I are definitely being a little more conscious of like going out. So I haven't done any shows. So I was super honored when y'all asked me to do this because I was like, oh. So I've been doing a lot of stuff like online, making videos and stuff like that, but I haven't done any stand up in a hot minute.
But are you ready?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I definitely.
Because when it comes to me putting people on show, I just don't know who's ready. You know what I mean? Like, if I see you active, then I'm normally like, hey, you want to host this weekend? But if I don't see you doing anything, I'm usually like, they must not want to do anything.
Oh yeah, I'm down to. It just depends on how safe the room is and how comfortable Rachel is. Like, I'm not the smartest. Like, we were in New York, she's like, stop touching your face. You're freaking me out. So it's up to her. Like, she's the whole reason I haven't caught COVID.
She's the boss. She's the boss. Well, guys, we got to take a quick break. Do not go anywhere. We're just getting into this. We'll be right back with Samantha, Ivey, James John, and Ken Miller right here on Real Laughs 104.1. Welcome back. You're still listening to Real Laughs. I'm still Mike Early. I'm joined in studio with Mr. Ken Miller, James John, and of course, our favorite comedian in Central Florida, Samantha Ivey. So glad you're sitting in with us tonight, Samantha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, guys, I wanted to bring something up. You guys are familiar with comedian Jim Gaffigan, correct? Okay. Now, Jim Gaffigan, I like his material. I've never been a diehard fan, but he's just kind of that middle of the road, dad level, no offensive stuff comedy. That's what he's always been. He's made the living out of being just that kind of middle of the road guy. Well, apparently over the weekend, he went on Twitter and just had a Trump style breakdown rant, just several tweets about how much he doesn't care for Trump and how much he doesn't care for people who are voting for Trump. And it was so out of character for him because he's got this whole nice guy persona.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought is like, man, has it gotten so bad that Jim Gaffigan is losing it? Is that where we're at? And the reason I bring it up is because a couple of people reached out to him and said, hey, you're probably ruining your comedy career by doing this. Maybe you should stick to comedy and leave politics alone. To which he responded to one woman, F you, Karen, which to hear Jim Gaffigan just go all out, but he didn't clean it up like I did. He just went all out. So my question to you guys is, do you ever have people tell you, hey, keep politics out of it. You're a comedian. Just be a comedian. More of my question is, how come everybody but entertainers is allowed to have an opinion on politics except for entertainers? Why is that?
Even athletes.
Even athletes. Yeah, I was going to bring the athletes up because they're telling the NBA players, shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, shut up and dribble. But like you said, doing the
But let Tom Brady be like, go Trump. They're like, damn it, we need to listen to him.
Hey,
yeah.
Dude, yeah. When LeBron James does it, it's bad. But when Tom Brady does, it's like, look at him. He loves America because it's against what their agenda to push. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
You know, so but I've had that too, man. That's why I kind of stayed away from politics, because I would post something. And then it's usually, to me, I think if it's people on my page, they know me and they know I'm joking. It's when it's public and people who don't know me, they pop in and have something to say. And I go click on their profile. I'm like, who the hell are you? Who the hell is this? Like just a few weeks ago, I had some guy pop up on all my videos like, F you, Ken, F you, Black Lives don't matter. And I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about because I had posted nothing political in a minute. So I kept trying to figure out who the guy was, and I think I got into an argument with him on somebody else's feed. And anytime I get into an argument with a white person on somebody else's feed, the first thing I say is, you probably say the N-word all the time. And y'all, no lie, bro, I get a message from them. I don't know, I don't. I never say that word, and that's like my, especially when I don't got nothing else to say. You probably say the N-word all the time. No, I don't. And so this dude came and was like, "F you," and Black Lives don't matter. I'm just like, whatever, dude. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I actually see it the other way, Ken. If I post anything, I don't even post political, but if I post something making fun of a political situation, it's other comedians that will get on and freak out. They want to, oh my gosh, yes. There is some very, very Republican, all the way to the right comedians that we all know, and they are waiting for anybody to say anything that's similar to being a political post. And they're the first ones jumping on like sharks, man. Blood in the water.
Anybody that write all them paragraphs, I'm like, dog, you
brother, they writing soliloquies, man. Like,
God, dang, boy,
you to Trump, why I love him.
Am I the only one? Am I the only one that does this? Like, as soon as someone's having a conversation and they automatically put, if they're a white guy and they put, I have a ton of black friends, before I even read, I go on their friends list and just start scrolling and go, could you at least help your friends get internet? Because none of them are on Facebook. You know? Like,
Mike, I take it a step further. I actually ask them, how many? Yeah. When they say that, I say, let's count them together. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Negroes. Come on. How many? How many you got?
You have 300 friends. One of them is not the same color as you. And I imagine that's because he probably picks you up and takes you to work every morning. You know? And then the other thing I do whenever someone puts like, hey guys, could we just leave politics out of it? I go to their page to see the last 32 posts, all political memes of a different candidate. You know? And I will tell you this. I've gotten not backlash, but there's a lot of comedy club bookers in this country. And there's some that are very, very open about who they support for the presidency. Okay. And I'm fine with that. What I hate is when they're openly supporting their candidate, but God forbid you say something about, you know, a candidate that's not theirs. The first thing they do is start interacting with you. Like, it's your comedy club. In my act, I don't do politics on stage. I never have, for a couple of reasons. Number one, until the last 5 to 6 years, I never considered myself versed on them enough to make an opinion. Like, I really wasn't that involved. I just got versed up like the past 6 years. But also, I understand if that's your club and you got material you don't. I treat it the same way that people ask me, "Hey, can you not use profanity in this club? Can you not do this?" If you don't want me to do political humor, that's fine. It's not my thing, anyways. But you can control me when I'm in your club and I'm working for you. That's fine. But when I'm on Facebook and not on your clock, I'm a human being that has opinions and everything else. I had someone tell me last week that they feel like as an entertainer, I should keep my political opinions to myself. And I felt that was kind of weird because number one, I was like, well, you're a real estate agent. So how come you have an opinion and I don't get an opinion? You know? The other thing is, I said, so you don't believe entertainers belong anywhere in politics? He's like, no. I'm like, I agree. So can we get this reality star guy out of the presidency and get someone else in? And they had nothing for that.
Yeah.
But I feel either side. If you live in this country and you vote, you have a right to an opinion. What I would really like people to do is before they just go posting stuff just because they see, oh, this is red or this is blue. I'm talking about both sides. Make sure you've checked from 3 other sources to make sure that that's a factual article.
Mike, we don't need the truth in America.
We do. We do. I have a family member who just posts whatever goes with his agenda, and I constantly have to show him. And once you show him that it was a fake article written on a fake satirical news site, he's like, well, I'm just trying to balance out the fake news. I'm like, no, but don't you see, you are the fake news.
You're the fake, but does he take it down?
No.
That's the thing. You can prove these people wrong, and they won't. I think it was Devin that posted a picture of Larry Bird, and it was the quote. It was like some weird racist quote from Larry Bird, and Devin was like, "I've seen this shared 500 times. Can somebody go find the link where Larry Bird actually said this?" And nobody commented because Larry Bird never said it. But the thing is, all these people share these things, and you can tell them, you know, this isn't real, right? They won't even, they won't take it down, but they won't take it down. Come on, man.
But is there a line though, even for us, if we post something? Don't you? It's just my opinion. I'm on a ledge by myself. I'll say that. Me, James Yan. I think also you can definitely post what you want. It's a free country. It's your social media platform. But I think sometimes comics can actually go a little too far. And every day, if you write 8 paragraphs about something, and you're never going to change anybody's mind. I never seen anybody change somebody else's mind on Facebook, in an argument. So I just think it can go a little too far sometimes. You're going to turn people off at some point.
And that's the choice you make. But at the same time, for every person you're turning off, people who agree with you are solidified in the fact that they like you. You know? And what I find the most shocking is when Jim Gaffigan did this rant over the weekend, everybody was like, oh my God, he called people names and he said this and that. And I'm like, have you read a Trump tweet? He's got a nickname for everybody. It's just name calling, and hatred. So how come when it's your guy, it's totally acceptable? But when it comes from somewhere else, I've been saying this forever. I think Democrats need someone like Jim Gaffigan, the new Jim Gaffigan, who's just going to come out and go, you know what? You guys don't like facts. You like showmanship and yelling and talking over people and dragging dirt out, even if there's no facts or anything to back it up. This is what you want? Well, this is what you're going to get now. I'm just going to come out and come up with double alliteration nicknames for every Republican, like Dumb Donald, and that's all I'm going to talk about. And I think there's been playing too much of the high road. I liked it. I was happy, and it made me happy to see people get upset that Jim Gaffigan was being nasty. I'm like, no, it's about time. It's about time someone got a little bit of it,
That's funny, man. So if they go low, we go lower. We go under.
Well, I figure
I'm talking under.
There's enough people going high. A couple of us can break off and go low. Yeah,
I hear you, bro.
What about Samantha? I was going to say, I never see your posts getting very political or anything like that. And even in this conversation, I see you just kind of going, which it just makes me wonder. You came back from New York, which is definitely a different spectrum of government or representation than Florida is. Did you? What's it like up there? What's the temperature up there?
Ooh. I must say it is very nice to walk around your city and not see a single Trump anything. Like you go through Florida and it is every other house has a Trump thing and it's so infuriating. In New York, you don't see it. And I actually, I told the table, I was waiting on a table. I told this lady, I was like, yeah, I'm from Florida, blah, blah, blah. And she pulled me aside and she goes, "Can I ask you a question? You do not have to answer it at all." I was like, "Sure." She was like, "Why are the people down south the way they are? Why do they not see this man in office and go, wow, that's dumb? Like, what is going on in Florida?" And I was like, "I can't explain it to you because I'm not like that. I think that he should definitely be out of office and he's a terrible human being." I have family members that are so for Trump. They're not terrible people. I mean, I barely talk to them. They could be terrible people, but
Yo, one of your cousins is the BTK killer. You like, but he's all right.
He's all right.
He's only murdered
You know.
47 people. Like, come on.
Well, Samantha, I think you just said something that you hit the nail on the head. I know people that are not crazy, bad, racist people that
Right.
love him. I'm like, I must be missing something in that equation. I don't get it, but they absolutely love him.
And there's nothing you can say to them. They don't want to listen
No,
to reason.
nothing at all.
They bought too many T-shirts. They bought too many hats.
Yo,
There's
man,
too many.
I done bought all these hats. I gotta support dude
Yeah,
now.
That's
yeah.
right.
They put the bumper sticker on their car. They're like, yo, it's on there forever. Like,
That's
I can't
it.
get this bumper sticker off, so I gotta support
True.
dude.
Yeah,
They
y'all
gotta
know what they
revamp the whole Facebook. They can't.
you know what they say? Them maggots is crazy.
But it's insane. It was really nice to live in New York and not have to deal with any of it. Like, it's no MAGA hats, no Trump stickers, none of it. It wasn't anywhere.
Yeah, I'm the same with like James, I guess, and you, of course.
Mhm.
Most of my family, supporting Trump, and I know these people. They gave me life, but
Yeah.
it's weird to find a line, and it wouldn't be so bad if you could have a normal conversation. But I just hate when they ask you about something, you give your point, and then you
Mhm.
want to hear their side of that conversation, and then they just switch conversations. Like, well, what about? I'm like, no, we were going to
No.
finish up this one. We were going to finish up this. The whole whataboutism is what destroys me. I'm like, can we pick a topic and stay on it and move with that
Mhm.
topic? And let's discuss that and work that out. Nope. It's
Mhm.
like, look, I've done magic a lot longer than I've done comedy. I know all about look over here while I'm over here. All right. So,
They'll pull it. Right. All right. And there we go. It keeps, why are all the
Oh,
flags orange? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah.
what about you, Ken, man? You spent time in the White House.
Mm.
What differences have you seen with the way Trump runs a presidency and what you actually worked with when you were in there?
I'm a registered Democrat and I've voted Republican twice.
That's what I'm saying. I've always voted the person,
voted,
not the party.
I voted for Bush twice, and of course I voted for Obama twice, and then I voted for Hillary. But you know what, man? I think with Trump, he puts a lot of stuff out that when I worked in the White House, Bush wouldn't say. Like when the Secret Service shot the guy, and they brought Trump back in. Trump was like, "Yeah, they rushed me off stage. Secret Service just shot somebody." Everybody was like, "What?" like no, the president isn't supposed to come in and tell you what they just talked about in the safety briefing. Like, you're not supposed to be like, hey, you can read about this or hear about this on CNN or Fox tonight, but he's not supposed to come in and be like, yeah, man, somebody just got shot outside, but yo, I'm back. Way to mask get, bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, before he died, we put a MAGA hat on him.
What was it, like a year ago when they had satellite photos of what they assumed was North Korea doing nuclear launches, and he showed some pictures to the press showing the site, and right on top it said official, top secret official use only.
Bro, we would take message traffic to George Bush. George Bush and his staff would look at it, give it back to you, and say, "All right, shred this." And you would go back to the comm center or comm tent, wherever you were, and you would shred it. He wasn't like, "All right, man, I'm about to put this on Black Planet later on my
Black Planet."
Because it was the Black Planet in MySpace at the time. I'm about to put this on AOL Messenger and send it out to everybody.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we got to take a break real quick. When we get back, we're going to be talking about local sports. So stick around right here on Real Laughs. Welcome back. You're still listening to Real Laughs. I'm Mike Ridley. I'm joined in studio with Samantha Ivey, James John, and Mr. Ken Miller. Now, I want to give a special birthday shout out to an actor that I find a hard time finding a movie of his I didn't like, Mr. Keanu Reeves, 56 years old today. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, baby.
I got to tell you, man, Keanu is one of those low-key Hollywood guys, dude. Like, you never see him get into trouble. He puts out like a good movie every 3-4 years, and he just, like, if I had a career as an actor, that's the career I would want right there. Something like Keanu, got his life, he's got his money, and you don't know what's going on in his private life. You never see him in the tabloids. He's just kind of doing his thing. So my question to you guys, Keanu Reeves, favorite movie, what you got?
It'd have to be one of the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
John Wick is, I know so. Amazing, bro. Amazing. I loved all three of them. And just on a little tangent, I heard that the new Bill and Ted movie is actually amazing.
See,
yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
I heard it was amazing, and then the next person who posted about it said it was horrible. And then the next person, it seems like people are just totally split on this one.
Oh, man, I ain't even gonna say nothing.
Did you see it?
Saw it?
I ain't never seen none of Bill and Ted movies, yo.
Oh my gosh. Ken.
Yo,
Ken Miller, a Braca man.
Bro, I didn't watch movies growing up because I was in the streets, James.
I understand.
Rat-a-tat-tat. You can't be Nino Brown and be watching Bill and Ted, bro.
That's true. That is a true. You know what? I take it. I apologize. I take it back, man. You was outside, rat-a-tat-tat. You couldn't just be watching movies. Gotcha, man. Thugs don't go to Blockbuster back in the day.
No, dog. That being said, The Lake House is probably my favorite Keanu Reeves.
Ken said his favorite movie is The Lake House. That's Michelle's favorite movie of his.
Yeah, bro,
he loves The Lake House.
I love The Lake House. It's such a good movie, bro.
Yeah.
Man, Lake House is my movie.
Really? But how long have you been peeing when you sit down?
Oh, actually, every time now. Like, I'm old, B.
I've never seen The Lake House. What's The Lake House about?
It's a good movie, actually.
It's a love. Is it Sandra Bullock?
Yes, Sandra Bullock. It's about a love story that spans I want to say 10 years. There's a mailbox at Keanu Reeves' house, and if he puts a letter in it, it somehow goes back in time when Sandra Bullock owned that same house. So
what's up with Keanu Reeves? Is it in his contract where he's like, no matter what, I somehow or my mail can time travel in a movie?
I like Street Kings too. I like Street Kings.
What was that about?
He was a cop in New York, and he was trying to help solve some.
Forrest Whitaker was in that.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker was in there. Hardball, I like Hardball. I would say his worst movie, and I tell people all the time, I think it's one of the worst movies of all time. The Day the Earth Stood Still. It's legit the worst movie I've ever seen, next to District 9.
Wow. What about you, Samantha? Fan of Keanu or no?
Yes, when I was younger, I loved Point Break, and it's probably why it took me so long to come out. Honestly, Point Break. It's like, I don't know if I'm gay.
She's like, I'm 99% sure, but then I watch Point Break and think, maybe.
What did it for you, Sam? Was the fact that his acting skills, or the fact he could so eloquently say, "Whoa"? Like, what did it for you?
Like,
Bodie, whoa, Bodie, you're going down, man. You're going down, man.
You know, he's got a reputation in Hollywood as one of the nicest people.
Son,
and he's also got that move that me and Ken Miller started stealing from him. When he takes photos with people, he has their arms around him, but you can see both hands behind the back now.
We call that the Keanu, bro. Anytime I take a picture of somebody, I'm like this. You ain't about to get me on no charges, bro.
This is the Keanu. This is the COVID, because you're over there.
There's like tons of pictures of him, because people tell me they see him in LA all the time driving his motorcycle, and it'll be pictures of him in the grocery store with some little kid. He's always like, yo, Keanu Reeves just pulled up and took a picture with my child. Like, he's such a nice dude. Cool. Like you said, Mike, you never hear anything about. Like, I even Google like Keanu scandals, and I can't find anything. Like, I can't even find anything, bro.
There's this little video they show of him where he was in a subway, and a woman came in, and he just stood up, and so the woman could have the seat. He's a gentleman still, man. Like, wow.
There's a video I came across. He's out on the target range. You got the little buzzer thing that goes off in your ear, and you got to go down a range. Dude, that guy was crazy fast. Like,
son, he loaded that shotgun with his thumb. It was like he cocked it, and as he was cocking it, he had his thumb putting the shells in, and he does the same thing in the movie. I'm like,
John Wick, baby, yo,
John Wick. John Wick guy is the guy. If I get taken, I'm John Wick coming to get me. I don't want no John Wick, Jason Bourne. One of them dudes coming to get me.
Yeah, if he'll do that for a dog, he'll definitely go after Ken Miller.
Yeah, he coming to get me, dog.
Now I will say this: seeing him without, because he shaved for the new Bill and Ted movie, so he doesn't have the beard. And all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, I feel you. Because every time I shave my beard, I go, why'd I shave my beard? Because he's looked young, like he hasn't aged, like he's a vampire for the past, 15, 20 years since The Matrix. And then when he shaved for Bill and Ted, I'm like, ooh, he's got chins. I'm like, where did those come from?
Unless he got fat for Bill and Ted, because he's kind of in shape for John Wick. He's not, you know what I mean? He ain't out here buffed up like most of the guys that do like action movies.
But when he's got the beard, he's got like that perfect V for Vendetta type chin, and then he shaves and it looks like me. It's not good.
That's why I'm happy when James got his beard, so you ain't got to see the mini chins of James John. So, see, look, you can't even tell James got a chin right now, yo.
All right. Well, I know you guys probably won't believe this, but I didn't play much sports in high school.
Loser.
Yeah, I was, however, part of, believe it or not, a little show done by the marching band my junior year of high school. They did, who's the guy that does all the music for like Indiana Jones and E.T. and all that type of stuff?
Danny Elfman?
No, it's not Danny Williams. John Williams, right? That's Star Wars. So the marching band teamed up with the drama classes and came up with this whole thing where they played all John Williams music. So we had Luke Skywalker fighting Darth Vader. Indiana Jones would show up, do like a whole halftime show, And of course, my whole thing was that some of the cheerleaders would place a ladder in the middle of the football field. And I would walk up it, and they would have these fire extinguishers, so it'd be all like smoke. And when it cleared, it was me dressed as E.T. with a little like light on my finger. So yeah, I'm saying I've been on the football field in high school. The reason I got pictures of it too, Ken.
No, I need to know why. I need to know why this story pertains to what you about to say. Please drop science, bro.
Okay, so this is going on across the country, and even in Orange County right now, they've just approved for football to come back at the high school level. They're approving to let the players play their games, because they don't want to take that experience away. But they are saying they got to keep it at 25% capacity. Now, here's the issue some people are having, and some students have actually started a petition. They feel like football isn't just about the football players. And if the football players are allowed to be out playing, how come band, color guard, ROTC are not getting their chance to be performing under Friday Night Lights?
Mike, you do know that we're in the South, right?
Yeah, nobody
you do know that football's a religion here. It's Baptist, it's Catholic, and football, damn it, yeah.
Listen, we all have to learn that football is more important.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to learn.
That's right. They're going to learn today.
My flag, by the way.
Do you guys think it's fair to just have football going on without all the other activities?
Yes.
No, but that's life. All right.
Dang.
Samantha, you're acting like someone who didn't make cheerleading in high school.
Listen, I knew nothing, okay?
She's like, I was too busy playing quarterback.
I was hiding out at Fellowship of Christian Athletes trying to pray away the gay. That's what I did in high school. All right?
Y'all were calling plays like 34, 44. We ain't gay. Go.
I'd ask you how that worked out, but
Just keep praying. Just keep on. Go ahead.
So you guys are 100% just like, let them play football and forget all the other
football. Yeah, we don't need everything. Unless it's FAMU University, where the band is the most important thing on the planet. You don't need the band. You don't need ROTC. You don't need nothing. You just need the football player. Hell, you don't even need referees. Let the coach call.
Wow.
We don't need all that. We just need the football players. Ain't nobody coming to see them. They coming to see football, bro.
No, I'll take the other stance on this. Of course, it's not fair to just let football play on the field and not let band, color guard, and everybody else be a part of it. That's not fair.
Look at you being a goddamn Karen.
Well, I need to speak to the manager, please. Okay.
I think realistically, a football team, they need another football team. A band don't need another band there. Color guard doesn't need another color guard there. So I feel like they can do that anywhere. Like, y'all don't need the football field. Calm down. Go in the parking lot and do your ish. All right?
Well, you bring up a
If
good
we
point.
can do stand-up comedy in
In
somebody
parking
else's parking lot, then
Well,
then they can do it.
That's right.
you know,
See, Mike, what you don't understand is God created football, okay? And God's not going to let a football player get the COVID. But he did not invent that flag waving over there. It ain't the American flag. That ain't American or Jesus like.
That's
Okay.
right, Mike. So shut your ET ass up.
Listen, what I want to know is
you know,
what,
Ken. You know what, Ken? I'm like, I had to put on a costume to look like ET. You have to look like him every day of your life. Back up.
that
You got
answers my
that.
question.
You got that skinny face with that big body belly.
Look at the finger too.
I was gonna ask what in the world your high school body looked like that they looked at you and said ET.
Oh, I was a scrawny kid. I was
Yeah.
scrawny. I was short, and yeah, it worked out. I was pretty good. You know, the worst part, I was proud of it because I'm like, see, Dad, you always wanted me on the football field, and now you got it.
Yo,
I'm the star of the halftime show.
Mike, I need these pictures, bro. I think your ET picture needs to be the cover for this show's video,
Yes.
bro.
Thumbnail.
Yes.
Yeah, it needs to be the thumbnail, bro. I need to see this picture you dressed as
Dude,
ET.
let me tell you why I've never opened my high school yearbook. That photo's in there, but that's not it. I was dating a girl. Who was on the yearbook staff, and we broke up. Now, you know, when you get your senior photos, you get to pick which one you like because they take like 6 and you just pick the ones. I picked the one that I liked. This girl went in and picked the one that was the one where it was like you were turning and blinking when the shutter went off. And that's what made it into my high school yearbook. So I don't even want, I've always feared that when I make it, not if, but when I make it famous, they're going to go into the high school yearbook, pull out that photo. I'm going to be like, this is why I kept from being a celebrity all these years.
Good
I was
Lord.
afraid this photo. Can we just show the ET photo? It's much less
show the ET. It's so funny you say that because I watch what is it, John Oliver show on HBO
Tonight, tomorrow, or
and
next week.
His cover photo is like his high school senior picture. He got like acne. It's so hilarious. So Mike, you can just take it and run with it, man. It'll be funny. We're comedians. People think it's silly.
True.
Well, guys, thanks for listening to Real Laughs tonight. We gotta get out of here in just a minute. But before we do, Ken, you anywhere this weekend? What you got going on, man?
No, it's Labor Day weekend, right?
You can take Monday off if you want.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'll probably be barbecuing.
And
Nice.
of course, Samantha, why don't you tell people? I know you've been doing live videos, and of course, you got your comedy. So you're not performing live right now, but man, you've been doing great with the sketches and stuff. Why don't you tell people where they can find you?
Thank you. Yes, you can find me on Facebook, comedian Samantha Ivey. That's Ivey, or you can find me on YouTube. I would say Samantha Ivey, but just look up filming and then vet, like VETTE. You'll find it easier. I actually do a show. It's a 15-minute sketch show called Ivy Heads. I do it every Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you want to hop in there and chat with me while it premieres, that would be dope. All right.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening tonight. Be sure to listen to our sister shows. Of course, you got the Monsters in the Morning. You got the News Junkie, the Jim Colbert Show, and we're always led in by Tom and Dan. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow night right here, Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.